Hi folks, today the gang is at the Strasburg Railroad. We have a tickets to see the shop tour, but I don't think we're going to be able to film inside there. But we'll do some footage here on the outside. The train's coming down the track, so we'll get some footage of the steam engine in a moment. Let me turn you around here. See the water tank there. This is in Strasburg, Pennsylvania, just outside of Lancaster. There's not near as many people as there normally would be here because of the COVID situation. Sounds of a steam engine, that's not something you hear very often. There it goes, folks, right there in yellow bulb. We're not going to be able to do any video on the inside during the shop tour. So I'll ask, but it doesn't look like it's going to be promising. It looks like we're going to be able to get into the engine house, which is right here.
Name's Gabe. I'll be your tour guide for today. I will be touring the back shop, our north car shop.
Some of you parents with youngsters out there might recognize this engine here. This is the engine house. That's the boneyard right here.
What's that?
It's like the parts of the boneyard, called a boneyard. Is it salvage parts from?
More or less. It is good spare parts. But most of the time we have to recondition them.
Oh yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
A lot of them are a little bit used really well.
Where would all this stuff come from? Just scrapped
Oh.
engines in the past? Or?
A lot of this equipment right here is a mixture of locomotive appliances and some passenger car parts as well, such as our draft gear, couplers, and all that. A couple other brackets. So, let me get these here squared away.
Look at this cabin here. This must be their area where they take breaks right here. Maybe even a smoking area. It's cool.
Alright, so safety is always first.
Okay.
You guys wear some safety glasses. There is a little bit of action going down in our shops.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll see if I can get one that'll fit over your
Okay. Okay.
And with the photography and the videos, we won't have them in our back shop.
Okay.
We do have work going on.
Okay.
But I will allow a little bit of documentation up back here in the engine house with our own equipment.
Okay.
And if you guys have any questions, by all means, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Thank you. I'm going to get a shot of Thomas over here too before I turn the camera off.
Yeah, Thomas is running tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay.
Yep.
There he is. We're going to head into the engine house now. We just toured the machine shop. we can do some video here in the engine house. We're allowed to do that. So let's take a look. Thomas, his face gets a little sooty there, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, and it's a bit of a chore to clean too.
Yeah, I would imagine. Not to do it all.
Well, the engine in general is a chore to clean.
Yeah.
Especially with the bright paint.
Yeah.
But we'll use a solvent called LA. It's totally awesome to clean the face, and it gets it off pretty well, but it will get dirty within a matter of like an hour. Now, once we go inside, just gotta watch out for your step. There is very deep drop pits, about 6 foot deep, and it's filled with gunk. So you don't want to go in.
There's the inspection pits there.
So this is where we primarily put our locomotives to bed at night. This engine house can hold out about 4 active steam locomotives. We'll cross over to the island. Just watch your step when you cross the board. Might be a little bit dark. So we have locomotive number 90 here. This engine was built back in 1924 by the Long Locomotive Works. She originally ran for the Great Western Railroad out in Loveland, Colorado. We acquired this engine out around the late 60s, and this is one of the very few rare engines that has never retired. By the time we bought it from the Great Western, it was still in service, hauling excursions during the days at the Great Western. Since then, it was never taken out of active service, and it's never been retired. So, this is one of our largest engines that we have. It weighs out about 886, 887 tons.
Wow.
And it holds about 15 tons of coal and roughly about 9,000 gallons of water. And this engine operates at 200 pounds boiler pressure, and it is superheated steam to the cylinders as well. It's not the most modern engine at the time, but it wasn't until after, I think, 1930 where they added more modern appliances as a stoker and feed water pumps and so on. So behind us is a Canadian National number 89. It's the smallest of our regular mainline engines, aside from Thomas. Built in 1910 by the Canadian Locomotive Company in Kingston, Ontario. This engine would have been designated as a branch line service engine, meaning that it can pull smaller freight trains as well as smaller passenger trains as well, or mixed trains, that being. This engine was originally Grand Trunk Western number 1009. Then for the Canadian National, it was in number 911. And then after that, it would have been 89. Then it exchanged several hands, one of them being the early stages of the Steamtown collection. And then we acquired it at around the 1970s. And a fun fact, when it was on its way down to Strasburg, it was sitting in the yard, caught in a flood because of Hurricane Agnes, and the water was about 2 feet above the stack. And a few years ago, when they were cleaning out the frame of the tender, there was still silt from the flood, still inside the frame rails. Anybody want to hop in one of the cabs?
I was going to just ask you that. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What would you like to check out first?
Maybe this one right here, the 89?
All right. So how much weight you're having behind you, and how much of the engineer is putting steam down to the cylinders. Every trip is going to be a little bit different. So, and you can't really fire the same way. So and all of the engines fire a little bit different too. So, and they all have their own quirks to it.
Now, in order to feed the coal in, do you have to step on that pedal there?
Yes. So right now the doors are propped open by the lever there. When the engine has air, there's an air. This is the air piston right up here. When you're pushing that pedal, it puts air into the cylinder and opens up the doors.
Oh,
When you take your foot off the pedal, it bleeds the air off and the door slams shut.
Okay.
So, and you want to keep the door shut as much as you can, so you don't draw in cold air and shocking your rear tube sheet and the firebox as well. And this thing holds about 10 tons of coal, and I think 6,700 gallons of water, give or take.
Huh.
So he just, when he's rolling water, he just opens the valve and it cycles water from
So
the tender?
you would open up the overflow valve first, and then this is long handle right up here. This is your starting valve, and once you have this open, you pull this back to the priming notch, let the injector prime, and then you pull it all the way out and lock it, and then it'll be injecting water into the boiler. It'll kind of sound like a constant toilet flush, give or take. That's like the best way I can explain it. Give or take, yeah. That's all I can really think of.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like it? Like it?
If you want to check out 90, we can do that too.
Come on, buddy.
Yep, watch your step, take your time. Your reverser right here, the only difference being this one looking smaller than 89s is that this engine has what's called a power reverse. It's an air-powered piston that assists you moving the valve gear to go forward or reverse. As engines were getting heavier and heavier and heavier, it was getting more difficult to move the reverser back. But with the invention of the power reverse, it is much more easier of throwing the thing in forward, reverse, or in neutral. You have your water sight glass. You have two of them, of course, and the water's showing out about 3/8 of a glass. I don't think she's warm. Yeah, she's still a little bit warm. Doesn't have any pressure on her. You have your fire hole door. Right now it is closed. Trap the heat in, so the boiler cools off nice and easy. The big gauge, that is your steam pressure gauge. She is set to pop at 199 pounds, but it is a 200-pound boiler. All the valves that you see on top might be a little dark. That all goes to the turret. That can, and those are for, again, like your blower, your air compressor, and your starting valves for the injectors. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And this engine holds about 15 tons of coal. There's a coal bunker open right now. And of course, for the fun stuff, we also have a whistle and the bell cord on the other side as well.
Very cool.
All right.
Well, Gabe, right?
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
You guys have a good
You'll see yourself on YouTube. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right, great. Oh yeah. He's got his hands dirty. Show him your hands. Aha, there you go. Well, folks, that'll do it for this tour of the Strasburg Railroad. Thanks for tuning in. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, like the content of the channel, don't hesitate to subscribe. Don't hesitate to hit that bell notification, let you know when I upload a new video. Take care now, be safe. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.